As a drafter, I take the customer specs, I look it over, and then I start putting it together. I comb over it, I find any mistakes, anything that doesn't, any contradictions between different things. One of my philosophies in drafting is that the guys in the shop, they shouldn't have to come ask us any questions because that information should already be on there. The drawing should be clear and concise.
Several steps to drafting. From the very beginning of it is the actual modeling. There's two-dimensional prints, making them 3D. You basically construct the model as it is on the drawing, 100%, no give or take, and then you take the pieces that might be challenging to manufacture with the certain equipment that we have, and you edit those pieces, whether it's splitting them in a certain way, changing the geometry slightly, and to the point where it's not going to affect the preciseness of the actual model. And then after the model is as it should be and all the pieces are manufacturable,
all those pieces come together with a set of weld instructions and finishing instructions so that the parts get welded together in the correct orientation. We hit all of the required dimensions and it's painted with the right color and finish so that our end user is happy.
Modeling up and doing all of the drafting process and making sure everything is going to work. Organization is a huge part of it, 100%. Attention to detail, ability to learn, and willingness to learn. You need to be actively trying to learn new things as much as possible.
After drafting, a project moves into programming. The programmer goes through, finds all the pieces and parts, makes sure that they are the correct material and the correct dimension, and essentially writes the code so that our laser knows how to cut them.
We have the laser plasma cutter, we have the Python, which is the beam processor. There's a lot of different things besides sheet metal. Like, we have a lot of structural capabilities as well.
In most departments, whether you're welding or running a laser or a press brake or running the roller, you need to know your basic math, know how to read a tape measure. Just stay humble with it. Just be there to help the other guys and they'll help you. When everything's said and done, even though you may have done a little part in it and just cut a piece of metal or just threw down one weld, you get to see the finished product and it's pretty nice. Don't be afraid to ask questions and don't think because, you're started in a mid-wage position or one of the lower spots that there's not room for growth. Keep showing up, keep doing the right things. Make sure to ask questions so then they know you're engaged and you want to learn and you want to do other things. They'll notice it.
The beam processor that we have at Harris Fabrication in an 8-hour shift can do the work of roughly 4 people manually cutting the pieces out. It would take 4 people about a week to do what our machine can do in an 8-hour shift. One of the benefits of Harris Fabrication over most of the competitors is that Harris Fabrication will reinvest in the company. We have a laser that will cut up to 1-inch thick steel plate. We have a beam processor that will do the work of several people. We have a CNC brake, we have CNC rolls, we have a machine shop. We have top-of-the-line tools to make the job easier for the guys in the shop who are actually putting this project together every single day.
Pretty cool how you can see and make parts for something and get to see the end result. When I first came here, I didn't know very much about fabrication, and the guys here showed me how to roll metal, break metal, run the press brake, the Python outside, the lasers, the saws.
I like the variety. Other places I've worked, it's you get one job and that's what you do day in, day out. But here you can come in and be TIG welding one day on stainless, and the next day you come in and you're welding 3/4 inch steel, mild steel. Sometimes you're working with people, sometimes you're working at your table alone. So I really like the variety. There's all sorts of limitations in life, whether you're a woman, whether you're older or younger, trying to get into different fields. I would say that the only real limitations are the limitations that you put on yourself. And if you want to be a welder, you can go out and do that. It's only going to stop you if you let it. For young folks getting into the welding field, I would definitely say it's a great industry to be a part of, because you can do anything from building structural steel buildings, which requires different certifications, to TIG welding stainless steel, food grade stuff. There's just such a variety. You can really go anywhere with it, and that was what sold me on the welding industry. It's a really good crew here at Harris Fab. Definitely a good team to be a part of.
As a welder, you gotta be willing to work hard and listen well.
Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and your strength might be someone else's weakness.
I enjoy welding and working with my hands. Not everybody is meant to be in the office.
I went into welding completely blind. I knew I had some people in my family who had been welders, so it's something that I had been around for a little bit before, but I had never done it, and I didn't think about doing it before going to school, so I kind of just threw myself in. It's like an artistic ability to be able to sit there and like weave to make a puddle, and then being able to like visually see what you had done afterwards and have the gratitude that you had built and created this thing.
It's hard work, but it's gratification at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of variety to the job, especially because there's a lot of like problem solving. So yeah, you could do the same thing over and over and over again, but just because of how the parts fit and like what you're doing, it's not going to be the same every single time, and I like that personally. Practice comes before skill, so you might not immediately be at where you want to be, but you have to keep practicing, and it can be intimidating, but the goal in the end is worth it when you can be able to see what you made and created.
You're not sitting in an office doing paperwork, and you're more active, you're more proactive.
Blueprint, starting with nothing and turning it into a live 3D version gives me satisfaction.
My part is the project manager. I pretty much have to take the job, quote, every stage all the way to the end of actually getting the parts shipped out of this facility. That's what I like about the job that I'm doing here with these guys, because there is so many different personalities out there. It always keeps it new and fun, and you never know what's going to happen from day to day, but it's great. If you get asked to work on a different machine the next day, do it, learn it, figure it out, because the more you're going to learn about brakes and punches and welding and other stuff, you're going to be more solid as an employee. With all that knowledge, you'll have more avenues.
I see their welds in a different light, because when you paint it, they stand out so much more. Like if they're done welding it, it's dirty, and stuff just kind of all blends in. But when we clean it and then we paint it, you really get to see like what they did and how they do, how it looks and the work that they do, and it really is good work. I mean, there's some people here that are just amazing, like that've been here quite a while, that I look up to a lot. When you get done and it's finished and the paint looks good, knowing that you did it, it's pretty satisfying. There's something different to do every day. It's not doing the same thing. At the end of the day, these are really some really cool people, everybody here, they really are. There's some really good people, there's some good workers, people that really, really put in the hard time and do a really good job. The things that they can build in a day is just crazy. It's pretty amazing how they put stuff together and it's, good. And it looks good.
Working in a machine shop is definitely different on a daily basis. Keeps your mind engaged and you have to be able to stay focused. One of the things that I like about working here at Harris Fabrication, you don't do the same thing on a day-to-day basis. It does switch up. Understanding on how to read blueprints is absolutely essential. Understanding what we have to do to any given part, as well as just different measuring tools, whether that be calipers, tape measures, dial gauge indicators, bore gauge indicators, all various different things. Understanding it's going to be used in a real world practical way. That adds in an extra layer of care and intent to what you have to do.
And then it actually gets produced and you see it like physically, it's like, it's huge and it's just like, it's crazy and it's cool.
But when I go out there, it's just a monster. And these guys are manhandling these sheet metal components and holding them and welding them. And when that thing gets loaded up on the truck, you get a sense of pride.
I enjoy seeing what I've created.
There's a lot of different new things every day, new challenges, but in general, this industry, I mean, yeah, especially this particular place here at Harris, it's pretty relaxed. It's down to earth.
I mean, it's really more of a family company. You really feel that with all the guys. And you get treated like family and you know that you're there for each other at the end of the day.